A Yoruba man will support his fellow Yoruba man. An Hausa man will support his fellow Hausa man. Only Igbo politicians that will go around making sure that their fellow Igbos don't go more than them. That's unnecessary jealousy. Greetings, I am Harry Agena, and I'm going to start by identifying myself as an Igbo man. In other words, I come from the Igbo tribe of Southeast Nigeria in West Africa. And I have a reason for this identity, to state this identity. It's because I want to talk about a narrative in Nigeria that Igbo people are hated or despised by the other tribes of Nigeria, members of the other tribes in Nigeria. Yes and no. I will say yes and no because yes, some members of other tribes do hate Igbo people, of course, just like some Igbo people also hate members of other tribes too. The problem here is when people generalize that all Yorubas hate Igbos or all Hausa people hate Igbos and vice versa. That's where I disagree, because there are a number of people, there are a great number of Yoruba people who love Igbo people and speak out on behalf of Igbo people that they are being marginalized or they are being treated badly. That should be president, for instance, just like other members of other tribes, that Igbos should also become president, okay? And so on and so forth. The crux of this commentary is that it's not really the other tribes that so hate the Igbo people. Members of the Igbo tribe, specifically, bad politicians of the Igbo extraction are the worst enemies of the Igbo people. Yes, this is a fact. They sell out themselves. Igbo people, Igbo politicians sell out themselves to other tribes. For instance, in a federal competition like running for presidency, you will see a Yoruba man who comes out to become president. A lot of other Yoruba people may even shelve their own plan. If they plan to become president, they will stop it and support a Yoruba man because they know there is a victory in numbers. So they will support, they rally around their fellow Yoruba person to win the federal seat called presidency. The same thing happens in Yoruba land, in Hausa land. The same thing happens in Fulani, among Fulani people. And other tribes, they support one another, except the Igbo politicians. And I keep saying politicians because it is the bad politicians that give the Igbo people bad name, not Igbo people. The masses of Igbo tribe are great people. It's the bad politicians that are doing that. Now let me go specific. I want to talk about a war against good by bad in Igbo land. And I'm representing good with a man called Peter Obi, an Igbo man, who is trying to run for presidency. He did in 2023, and he was rigged out. Yes, I say it with authority that he was rigged out. There's something called the Obedient Movement, coined out of the last name of Peter Obi, okay? Because youth across Nigeria supported Peter Obi because they believe he is the best person that will get Nigeria out of corruption and bad governance. So, both across tribes and religions, they supported Peter Obi. So there's obedient movement. All kinds of things have been tried to show Peter Obi as a criminal or having stolen, because he was once the governor of his state, Anambra State, which is where I actually come from myself. And record shows that he was a good governor, especially in terms of being clean against, not being a criminal. He didn't loot the public funds. In fact, if anything, what is associated with Peter Obi is that he actually forfeited certain things that he was supposed to gain, certain benefits that he was supposed to get in power. He didn't want them because he was a billionaire before he even became governor. And he is a man who is very contented and with facts going on about Peter Obi, the good sides of him, especially when it comes to criminality. The man is an angel. Compared to this other guy now, the guy that is fighting a war against him, his fellow Igbo man, Orji Uzor Kalu, who is an ex-convict. Yes, authoritatively, I can say legally that Orji Uzor Kalu is a criminal because he was convicted by EFCC and thrown into prison years ago after his governorship tenures because he stole public funds when he was governor, a lot of it. So he was imprisoned. Unfortunately, Nigeria happened. And rather than stay in prison, Orji Uzor Kalu was released by technicalities, some abracadabra technicalities, because they claimed that the judge who sentenced him to prison did not operate under his jurisdiction. Therefore, that judgment had to be nullified. But guess what? They did not say that means that Orji Uzor Kalu is no longer a criminal. No, he was not exonerated of the crime he was convicted for. No, he is still a criminal. And because, like I said, I say everything authoritatively because it was said, it's on record. You will find it anywhere you search, that it was said that he will be retried under the correct jurisdiction, and he would have been convicted too because he was not exonerated of the crimes he was accused of. So, but Nigeria happened again, and he has not been tried up till now. His retrial is still pending. He should be retried. It's not been cancelled. But Nigeria happened. And instead of being retried, he abracadabraed himself into being a senator of Nigeria, because that's the problem of Nigeria. Criminals are the ones who occupy most leadership or rulership positions in Nigeria. So Orji Uzor Kalu, instead of being retried and sent back to prison, he is now a senator. Can you believe that? People who are not Nigerians, can you believe it? Only in Nigeria would that happen. I've given you a comparison, two Igbo people. Orji Uzor Kalu is the man who is out there fighting against Peter Obi, claiming that Peter Obi is not good enough to be the president of Nigeria. That he, Orji Uzor Kalu, is the one who should be president, and he is the best man to be a president on behalf, in the name of, kind of representing the Igbo people, because there is a fact that Igbo people have not been president in Nigeria. Okay, so there is this thing that there should be one, and Orji Uzor Kalu is claiming that he is the right man to be the president of Nigeria of Igbo extraction, which is not true. He is an ex-convict. He is still a criminal who is still supposed to be retried. So how can he claim that he is better than Peter Obi? And the reason I brought this up, I wouldn't have had this commentary, mind you. The reason I am having this commentary is that rather than Orji Uzor Kalu to behave himself. Remember at the beginning I talked about the fact that Igbo politicians, bad Igbo politicians, are the problem, the worst enemies of Igbo people, not Yoruba people, not Hausa people. It's Igbo politicians, bad Igbo politicians like Orji Uzor Kalu, and maybe somebody like the current governor of Anambra State, my state, Governor Soludo, also fighting to make sure that their own brother, an Igbo man, must not be president. Orji Uzor Kalu is fighting to become president in 2039. That's what he says. I am not lying against him. I'm quoting him that he plans to be president in 2039, and Peter Obi should not be president in 2027 because it's his position. He should be the person to be the first Igbo president. What? I said. When I heard it first, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? An ex-convict is telling us that he is the one to represent Igbo people like me. If I was in Nigeria, I wouldn't vote for Ojo Carlo because he's an ex-convict. Why is he telling people? If he will keep shut, if he will keep his mouth shut, I wouldn't have talked about this. My point is that why is he Igbo people's worst enemy? Like I said, one of the Igbo people's worst enemy of his own tribe. Trying to, like I said, remember, a Yoruba man will support his fellow Yoruba man. An Hausa man will support his fellow Hausa man. Only Igbo politicians that will go around making sure that their fellow Igbos don't go more than them. That's unnecessary jealousy, backbiting their own brothers and sisters. That's what I have a problem with. That's why I'm condemning Ojo Carlo. Otherwise, I don't have a quarrel with him. I'm just stating facts that he should stop trying to make fight against Peter Obi. Peter Obi is the best thing from Igbo land that right now that could be Nigeria's president. Definitely not Ojo Carlo, an ex-convict. That's my point, okay? And this is where I stop for now. And I will say to you, thanks for watching and bye for now.